Hey everybody, we're gonna start our second session on subtracting integers. So last time you watched two sets of examples on modeling problems and then adding the opposite. We're gonna keep working through that today. So I'm on the second page of the note sheet. So some of you have this already from being in school. So if you have it, take it out and work on it. And then some of you who are doing it live with me are getting it for the first time today. So let's take a peek. So our first example is -2 take away 5. So let's start with two negatives. So I've got two negatives. Remember, we've been showing them as either like a positive is a plus sign or a negative is looks like a subtraction sign. So I've got two negatives. Now I want to take away, it's -2 minus 5. Now remember, that 5 is a positive number. Do I have 5 positives to take away from right here? We don't, right? So we need to bring in those zero pairs that we talked about last time. So we're going to bring in a zero pair. Do we have 5 positives yet? Nope. I'm going to bring in another one. Do I have 5 positives now? Not yet. So I'm going to keep going until I've got 5 positives. So right now when I look at this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can take my 5 positives and I can take them away. And then I'm going to count how many negatives are remaining. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 negatives. All right, so let's recap about add the opposite. So this is a way to rewrite the expression using addition. So instead of -2 take away 5, I'm going to rewrite subtraction as addition. And then what's the opposite of +5? -5. All right, so we're just rewriting this as an addition statement. A lot of kids find addition easier. So now I know if I've got two negatives that I'm adding together, that does give me -7. So remember, this is just another way to look at it. If you can look at it as -2 take away 5 is -7, that's great. I'm happy for you. But some kids need to see it rewritten, so this is a little tool that helps them. Same thing as the models. Let's take a look at -1 take away 4. So I'm going to start with one negative. Do I have 4 positives to take away? There's nothing else there, right? There's not even 4 negatives to take away. So I'm going to bring in some zero pairs. And now I've got my 4 positives that I can take away. So I'm going to circle those, take them away, and then I'm going to count how many negatives I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 negatives. So then now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to rewrite it using add the opposite. So -1 take away 4. If I rewrite it, it becomes -1, change subtraction to addition, and what's the opposite of +4? -4. So again, some of you will know that this is -5. Some of you, it helps to rewrite it as an addition statement. Adding 2 negatives will give you -5, which we got showing with our model as well. All right, let's take a look at our next one. -3 take away 2. 1, 2, 3. Do I have 2 positives to take away? I do not. So I'm going to bring in my zero pairs. There are my 2 positives. I'm going to go ahead and circle them, take them away, and then I'm going to count how many negatives I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite -3 take away 2 using add the opposite. So I change subtraction to, you got it, addition. And what's the opposite of +2? -2. And then when we're adding our 2 negatives, we add them like they're positive numbers and then just bring that negative sign over. So I got -5 with the model and showing with add the opposite. All right, at this point, I think some of you got it. So if you want to just try the last 2 and fast forward through to the point where I show the answers on here, you're welcome to. If you want to stay with me, you're welcome to as well. So let's take a look at our next one. -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take away 1. So again, I don't have a positive to take away, so I've got to bring in my zero pair. Now I've got a positive I can take away. So I'm going to circle it, take it away, and then I'm going to count how many negatives I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 negatives. Now I'm going to bring my expression over, and I'm going to rewrite it using add the opposite. So -6, change subtraction to addition, and the opposite of +1 is -1. And that gives me -7. All right, last one, 4 negatives, and I want to take away 2. Again, I don't have 2 to take away, so I've got to bring in zero pairs. I brought in 2 because I need to take away 2. I'm going to circle those 2 positives, take them away, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives. All right, let's rewrite this last expression. So negative 4 take away 2 becomes negative 4 plus the opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. I'm going to add these two digits together. 4 plus 2 is 6, and they're both negative. All right, so that's adding, or well, I should say adding the opposite as a tool, which some of you might like to use. That's one section of questions. We're going to take a peek at the second section of questions, which is on the last page of notes. So again, you should have these notes. This is the last type of subtraction problem to look through. So I tried to just break it up by section so it wasn't so overwhelming. Again, you're always welcome to check these on a calculator. I'm just trying to show you the why it works. Why that double negative becomes a positive. So we got our last section here. Our first question is negative 1 take away a negative 2. So let's start with our negative 1. Can I take away 2 negatives? Well, I have a negative there, but I don't have 2. So I'm going to bring in a 0 pair. Now, can I take away, because that's what subtraction means, can I take away 2 negatives? So in this case, I have 2 negatives, so I'm going to circle those 2 and take them away. And what do we have left? We have a positive, so our answer is positive 1. So let's look at this expression using add the opposite, because something really kind of cool happens that makes this expression that looks really scary a really easy expression. So we keep the first number the same, it's negative 1. Change subtraction to addition. And then what's the opposite of negative 2? Positive 2. So look at how simplistic that expression becomes when we get rid of that, what's called a double negative, it becomes a positive. So in this case, 2, if you have $2 and you spend 1, you have 1 left. All right? Let's take a look at our next one. Negative 2, take away negative 2. Well, this is our first example where we actually have what we need, right? So if I take away those 2, what do I have left? Nothing, 0, right? All right, let's try and rewrite it as adding the opposite. Negative 2, take away negative 2. So we keep the first number the same, change subtraction to, you got it, addition. And then negative 2 becomes its opposite, which is positive 2. 2 plus a negative 2, if you have $2, you spend $2. Opposites always add to be 0. Let's take a look at our next one. Negative 1, take away 3 negatives. Again, I don't have enough, so I'm going to bring in a 0 pair. Do I have 3 negatives to take away yet? Nope. How about now? Now there are enough, right? So I'm going to circle my 3 negatives and take them away. And what's remaining? 2 positives. So again, we're going to come over, we're going to rewrite it as adding the opposite. Because you don't want to be drawing these models forever, right? So we're going to start with our negative 1. Remember, subtraction becomes addition. And negative 3 becomes positive 3. So now, if you have $3, you spend 1, you have 2 left. All right, next model. 2 negatives. Can we take away 3 negatives? Oh, we're so close, right? We got to bring in a 0 pair, though. Now can I take away 3 negatives? Yep, there are 3. Take them away. What's left? 1. So negative 2, take away a negative 3. Keep your first number the same. Change subtraction to addition. Negative 3, the opposite is positive 3. Actually, I don't need parentheses there. I don't want to confuse anybody. Boop, boop. There we go. If you have $3 and you spend 2, you have 1 left. So it's always a good way to confirm to make sure my model and my answer end up being the same thing. We don't want to make any mistakes. And our next one is 3 negatives. Can I take away 4 negatives? So again, we're really close, almost there. Bring in a 0 pair. There's my 4th negative. Circle them, take them away. You have 1 left. And then this is our last one to rewrite. Keep the first digit the same. Change subtraction to addition. And then the opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. If you have $4 and you spend 3, you end up with 1. All right, so that was our quick crash course in Can You Subtract Integers. What you're going to be working through today is a quizzes practice and then maybe a Google form. So check out the agenda that I posted on Google Classroom to see what the next assignment might be. All right, everyone, see you later.